Although I am involved with CADAC, the Center of ADHD Awareness Canada, the views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the participants and do not reflect those of CADAC. And now, cue the music.
This is the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, André Brisson.
Hey there, it's André here with another short for the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, the podcast for the high-achieving ADHD entrepreneur. This episode is brought to you by CADAC, the Center of ADHD Awareness Canada. You can get more information and you can donate at www.caddac.ca. This week I want to share with you something I've been teaching my kids a lot lately. One of the big mantras that I have, I guess it's a mantra or something that I discovered a long time ago, is I'm really good at overcoming obstacles. And a lot of obstacles were also not just barriers and boundaries set by other people or outside or external factors for me, but it's also mistakes and errors that were made. I always had an innate ability to see what I did wrong, where my mistake was, and figure out how to correct it. And I got a gift, an identified gifted older child. And most gifted kids, especially ADHD gifted kids, they got an issue or problem with perfectionism, always having to be right and being perfect. And then for a while, she was coming back, getting upset that she was getting 80, 85% on tests and projects, 90, even 90, 95. And I really got a problem and an issue with that because the perfectionism will rule her world just like it did for me. And I didn't learn until I was 40 something that I got to let go of this perfectionism because it was killing me. It was debilitating. It caused a lot of friction with people also at the same time. So I really wanted to communicate to my kids that it's okay to make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, don't be hard on yourself because of the perfectionism. So when they came back and said, I got this on my test, or even if they got a failing grade, like I know she came back and said, I only got 50% on this. Oh, I'm stupid. You're not stupid. You just did not know something. So what I started to do is I said, let's take that test. Where are the mistakes? Let's figure out what happened. Why did you make the mistake? Where was the error? And let's get the right answer. Let's work it. Understand the mistake so we don't repeat it next time. And it kind of worked, but didn't until one day she broke down again and said, oh, I'm stupid. Doesn't matter if I figure it out whatsoever. And then what came out of my mouth next was, I do not care what your mark is. I don't care if you got a 40, a 50, a 70 or 80%, or even 100%, 99% on a test or project. All I'm concerned about is you understand where the error was made and you figure out how to correct it, because that's where learning is. Unfortunately, society is very keen on making sure everyone understands everything and never makes a mistake and they understand perfectly. In the engineering world, that's a massive problem because everyone's right. And even if they make a mistake, they're still right. And what we got to understand is it's okay to make mistakes, make the error, figure out what went wrong so we don't repeat it again. That's what I have on my team. And it's an engineering team. It really throws people. People don't want to work for me because I tell my team, I want you to make mistakes. Because if you make mistakes, that means you're trying something outside of your comfort zone. You're trying something new and you made an error. Who cares about the error? Why was it wrong? Let's correct it. Let's figure it out so we don't repeat it again. If we repeat the mistakes over and over, that's a different conversation. But I want you to make an error because that means you're stretching yourself and you're trying. So go back to my daughter. It's okay that you made a mistake. If it turns out that you got 50% because you were tired or you didn't study, then we know what happened. But we still figure out how to learn what we did not know. That's the key. Learn what we did not know at the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I never really got a clear understanding of this. And I thought I was just, broken record and nothing's going to happen because I was expecting immediate results. But it took quite a few years. And my daughter, who just started high school, actually just did a couple tests. She came back. She said, I got 98% on this math test. She feels good. That's great. I said, that's fantastic. And the next thing just blew me away. Right after she said that, she goes, and I know why I didn't get 100% because I didn't carry A certain number to make it negative should have been positive. I didn't have to ask her let's take the test out. Let's see what's going on. She's already looking at tests and projects as an opportunity to learn. She immediately went and said, hey, why was I wrong? I understand now. And she also admitted that she just flew by that question and didn't really pay attention. So there's two things. Didn't follow the process and understood that her own mindset and her own attitude at the time caused her the error. And she's learned from it. She will learn that. And to me, that was a very powerful thing. And I think as entrepreneurs, it's the go, let's go, especially the ADHD side. We got to get it done. It's got to be right. It's got to be right and perfect because we don't want to deal with it. So we can go on to the next thing. And I think we kind of create our own little problem there. We don't want to deal with it again. So it's got to be perfect. We're wasting our time. And we teach that to our kids. But since I had the mantra of making mistakes and learning from the mistakes, I slowly taught them that. And my youngest is also looking at stuff like that now. She's 10 now. She's starting to see and come back. Hey, I actually know what I did wrong. We don't need to discuss it. So they're taking their own initiative because I created a safe haven for them to discuss what went wrong. I didn't say, what happened? Like I got this all the time. Well, you only got 80. What happened to the other 20%? But that's not helpful either. Being there to help them figure out what went wrong and supporting to making mistakes is good. And we learn something new from it. And saying, I don't care what the mark is, as long as you understand what the error was. And now you know it. That's key. Because I think if we can teach our kids, it's okay to make mistakes, to learn from them, that means you're growing and they're not going to be afraid to try anything in the future. Unfortunately, there's a lot of kids that are afraid to try anything because they might get a bad mark. They might fail. They might be ridiculed. They might be criticized. But I want my kids to grow to say, I'm going to try it. I made an error. What went wrong so I can avoid it and try on the next. Taking away the kids' ability to try things and having them instill a fear in them that they need to get things perfect. And we got to get that out of people's head. The only reason a lot of progress is made because someone made an error or someone's thing didn't work well and someone took it over. But the common thing in all that is something did not go well. Something was not done right. But we figured out how to make it right, how to correct it. That's the key message. We need to instill in our kids it's okay to make mistakes, but the key to that is what did we learn from that mistake so we can prevent it from happening in the future? And it's an opportunity for new knowledge, for new growth, and to reduce the fear of them trying to do things when they are older as adults, become future entrepreneurs or future leaders, future management or whatnot. That's what we need to teach our kids. It's okay to make mistakes, learn from them, and enjoy life. If you can let me know what you thought about this concept, because I'd like to know do you foster a safe environment for kids to make mistakes, or are you subconsciously imposing a perfectionism culture? I'd like to understand. I'd like to hear from you if that's true. And if this resonated to you in any way, you can send me an email at andre@andreb.ca. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by André. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.